Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Leo for the month of July 2018. Hello, Leos. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everything is going wonderful in your lives. Hope your summer's going well. And quickly, before I forget, happy birthday for those early Leos coming at the end of July. I hope you guys have a fabulous time. As many of you may know, I had a little bit of a mishap the past month or so. Things got crazy in May. I got sick in June. Then I got healthy and I came back. But then I went ahead and I got sick again with a bout of bronchitis. So that was a lot of fun. But anyway, so that explains why these are very late. But here I am doing your normal spread again. I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle and get your outcome and then your overall energy. And then once that is here, I'll reveal all the cards and I'll do your reading then. So if you're a returning viewer, that would be great. That is great. And if you're a new viewer, that's also great. I like all viewers of all kinds. All right, so there's the bottom of the deck, which is the overall energy, and the overall outcome came that a ways. I'm going to go ahead and flip all of these cards, Leo, and then we're going to get into what is goings on in your life. Come on. There we go. This is what happens when I cut my nails. I can't grab anything. Alright. There we go. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Where is Leo? Please show me. Where is Leo in July? Here? Alright. Alright. Coming into the month, Leo, or at least to this reading, since it's definitely not the beginning of the month anymore, you come in as the Moon card. So, Moon card represents the sign of Pisces. There might be a Pisces of significance around you, but whatever the case, it doesn't have to be that there's anyone of significance who is a Pisces or not around. The important thing is the energy of the card, and the energy of the card is all about what the hell is going on here. The Moon it talks about what you don't know, what you can't know, or what you can't see. Visually, with the Moon card, like, I often get like a foggy night, a night with like if you're like in like Washington or Oregon, or like, you know, an area like that where it's mountainous and fog and is super dense. And like, I also get like certain scenes like out of a Stephen King novel or something like that, where, you know, again, it's so foggy, it's so misty, or it's such a heavy snow that you can't see much in front of you. And it becomes really sort of claustrophobic, right? When you can't see in front of yourself. Like, I don't know how often you guys go walking around in fogs, but let's say you're, you know, the lights are off in your house, or maybe you've gone to a haunted house kind of experience before, and you literally can't see your hand in front of your face. Like, that is sort of what the Moon is like sometimes. Also talks about illusions, delusions, and fantasy and things like that. So I think, Leo, what's going on is you really don't know what the hell is going on. I think that there's certain truths that you believe. There's certain things that you believe to be the absolute truth, but it's not the case. You just, because you don't have all the facets and the different perspectives or the different elements or specifics of the situation. The truth that you've concluded, the feeling of being assured, is based off of what you do know. And so let's say you're like, let's say you're in a kitchen, right? And you see milk, eggs, flour, and butter, right? So in your mind, Leo, you're like, okay, well, based on that, somebody's making a cake here. Not a very good cake. There's no sugar or anything there. But, you know, based on what you are able to see, that's available in the kitchen. Milk, eggs, butter, flour. You're like, okay, somebody's about to make a cake. Or maybe bread or something like that. What you don't see is like, okay, well, not only that, but they've got cinnamon, they've got sugar, and they've got, God, I don't know what else you need. I'm not very good at cooking, so this is not a great analogy. But basically, you don't see the entire ingredients list, so you're assuming the recipe must be for this. You see about half of the ingredients, so you assume, okay, well, we're making a cake, or, we're making flavorless pancakes, whatever. You don't realize, oh no, we're making something grander than that. Or based on the other ingredients involved, oh no, it's like a full breakfast. So not only is it, we can make pancakes or waffles or whatever, but we can also have bacon. There's bacon there. There's also cantaloupe, so we're going to have fresh fruit. There's coffee being ground up elsewhere. So there's like an entirety that you're just not aware of. The full scope of the situation is not your privy. You're not able to see it. Why you're not able to see it? I don't know. But you're not able to see it. And it might not even be, I'm using this food analogy, and that might sound good to you. Oh, I'd love a full breakfast, pancake, eggs, bacon, fresh fruit, some coffee. You would love that. Others of you, you're like, no, I hate that. But what I'm saying is what you're not seeing may not even be the more that you can't see, what you're not able to have access to, may not even be positive. Like, to me, I love breakfast, so breakfast is always positive. But, so there might be details that aren't so nice, that aren't so cheerful or bubbly or satisfactory. So where it might sound like, oh, I don't see the full picture, that doesn't sound like a good thing. It might be a good thing. Where, I think, I can't remember what movie it is, but there's been several movies where, even if just for a moment, someone's in a dark room and they're like feeling their way around, or they're like, oh, I'm so scared, I can't see, and they're like moving towards their destination, they're moving towards safe harbor or whatever, or an escape, but if they saw everything, they would have seen this terrible monster over here on this side. If they had a light on in the room, they would have seen there's like a huge hole in the floor that would have eaten them up. So sometimes what you don't see is good. If you saw the monster, you might scream and wet your pants, and then the monster would capture you and eat you. If you saw the hole in the floor, if you weren't like carefully like moving along, or maybe a trap, maybe it was like a big human mouse trap or something, whatever. The point is, sometimes what you don't see is more harmful to you if you did have access to seeing it, if you had absolute understanding and awareness of it. Okay? It can go either way. Whatever you're missing might be good for you, whatever you're missing might be bad for you. Either way. I feel like that's sort of, okay. I think it's affecting, yes, okay. All of that, okay. Damn. Okay. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm like unpacking this because, yeah, okay. Because I just said to Cancer, and it was like 2 other signs before Cancer, this like triangle thing keeps popping up in my readings, because if you've seen it before, I usually do 6 cards, 1 outcome, 1 overall. And I will take 2 if they come, but like it's been consistent. I think the only one who didn't get it was like Aries. So far, everybody else has gotten it. So this triangle, is it again separate? Is the triangle separate? Yes, okay. That's very interesting. I've not had it been so I don't need to talk to you like you're actually here. Anyway, So the triangle is separate, and we started here, so we're going to talk about the triangle later. So, Leo, what's going on is you're here, you're in this I don't know phase, and some of you are aware that you don't know everything. Some others of you think you have the whole thing, because I think that's how I started out. I started out saying you have decided on a truth, you've decided on a position, on an opinion, on a mindset that has you basically saying, I know it, I know what the answer is, I know this, or I expect that, or when it comes to this person, I know what they're I know what they're all about. Like, you're making judgments, and not like a prejudgment, because again, based on what you have around you, you think there's cake. You don't know that it's a smorgasbord breakfast, or you don't know that it's going to be crepe Suzettes, or that it's going to be creme brulee. You just think it's going to be a regular old bundt cake. You don't know because you don't see all the ingredients. So it's not to say that you're prejudging in a quote-unquote negative way, or in a way that sort of doesn't have a basis to it or foundation. You're using your judgment. You're using your logic. You're using discernment. Well, based off of the bread, the flour, the eggs, the milk, and the butter, I think it's going to be a cake. You're kind of like, I thought it was cake. It should be cake. Isn't it going to be cake? And I think that all is expanding out here, and it's like cyclical, but yeah. So because you don't know, you want to know, right? Whether you realize it or not, or whether you're conscious of it or not, I should say, some of you really do feel like there's got to be more to this. It can't just be bundt cake. Like, no, there has to be more ingredients on this list. Others of you are like, it's cake? I don't think I want just cake. Some of you are assured there's more for you to know, and others of you you're just like guessing, like, I think there should be more. Maybe there is more. Or others of you see cake and you're like, to hell with cake, I don't want that. And you want to go find some other recipe or some other ingredient. So, sorry to keep this analogy, but that's kind of how this is coming across for me. So, what you're doing is you're like, all right, where's the rest of the ingredients? Or where's the new recipe that I need to make crepe Suzettes? Or maybe you don't want any breakfast foods or any sweet treats. Maybe you want a savory dish. You're like, I'm trying to do like braised pork with like apricot sauce. You know, you want a whole different meal. You don't even want a breakfast food. So whether you want to expand on the recipe that you already have, or if you want to explore a whole new recipe, even different cuisine, again, this is just an analogy. You're out to do it. You're dissatisfied with what you see. You're dissatisfied with the ingredients that you have. You're dissatisfied with not seeing like more options, a bigger recipe, more ingredients for you to get to cook with in the kitchen, and you're out for more. And I think you've been here for a long time. This, I don't have enough. I don't see enough. It's not satisfactory. That is the plainest cake. I mean, maybe we could get some like cocoa powder. You need something else, right? So you've been dissatisfied. You've been displeased. You've been depressed, some of you. Yeah, some of you. And it's just, the status quo is not cool for you anymore. You're not interested in that. But the ironic thing is, you want it, but you can't get it. You want it so bad. You've been looking for it. But you're not getting it. You got the King of Cups between the Moon card and the the Eight of Cups. You got the King of Cups in reverse. You're not getting it. The King of Cups, when he's upright, he can be satisfied. He can be cool with what he's got. He's cool with where he is. He's cool with where he's been. He's cool with where he's going. He's just all around cool guy. Cool as a cucumber. Maybe you're making cucumber salad. I don't know. But when he's like this, there's a dysfunction going on, right? becomes, in some cases, hypercritical, but like hyper-emotional. I don't think that's a great conjunction, but his emotions get the better of him. So what I'm getting, Leo, is that when you're in a bad mood, you're in a bad mood, and that's it. There's no consoling you, or there's very little chance that you could be consoled. I shouldn't say there's no consoling you, because nobody stays sad or angry for the rest of their lives. Right? And if they do, that's terrible. But when it's a bad day, it's a bad day. Like, you wake up and you're like, today's a bad day. And you just accept it. And you just roll like that for the next, 18 or 16, 18, 20 hours, however long you're going to be awake. And then maybe tomorrow it'll be better. So you kind of sit in whatever emotions come upon you at the start of your day or at a certain turning point in your day. And it could be positive. Like, you could have a great conversation with somebody, on a Saturday morning. You're just like out doing grocery shopping. Back to food. Sorry. But you're out doing whatever, your Saturday morning errands, and you just get to talking with a stranger, and like they kind of put a smile on your face. You guys share some like fun banter, or you're talking about, maybe the World Cup's going on, so maybe you start talking about the World Cup, and that like just brightens your day for some reason. And then you stay in that bright, happy, positive mood for the rest of the day. But then tomorrow, again, you have the potentiality to be in the sadder, more quote-unquote negative emotions again. So when the King of Cups is reversed like this, he can't get over himself, basically. He can't get over his circumstances. He can't change his disposition. However he quote-unquote like gets assigned or gets kind of aligned for the day, and it could just be more than a day, it could be several days, it could be weeks, but however he gets aligned, he stays there for a very long time. If he was in the upright, when the king and the queen are upright, they're the masters of their emotions. When you're in the reverse, you've not mastered it, or the mastering aspect of the energy is kind of lost on you. So you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's cooking in the kitchen. So you're out there trying to find ingredients, but you kind of don't know what ingredients you need to find, right? Because you switch. If you're sad for 2 days or not feeling the greatest for 2 days, but then you kind of go into an up for the next 5 days, and then you go back to it. It's like this roller coaster. So that would constantly change the ingredients that you need to go find. If you're really sad, you need quote-unquote happy ingredients or positive interactions, whatever. And then if you're positive, I think some of you, if you are in this positive feeling, you kind of get despondent. You kind of get like, you feel like that's fake, or the people you're dealing with are fake. It's like anything. Like if you eat a sugary breakfast and you eat something sweet for lunch, and then you also, for some reason, have breakfast for dinner, you had a whole day of like sweet meals. That's not good either. You see what I mean? So there's like this feeling of being in the extremes. I'm extremely happy, I'm extremely positive, I'm extremely cheerful and optimistic, or I'm completely depressed. I'm so sad, I'm angry, I'm agitated, I'm frustrated, I'm in the negatives. And there isn't that medium, there isn't that middle ground that you're able to get to, Leo. Right, thank you. Because, yep, he would be in search of this, and then you're blocked. So the Four of Swords, the Four of Wands, right? Stability in the home life, structure in the home life, happiness, bonds, camaraderie, just incredibly amazing an incredible nest, right? So some of you are having an incredible imbalance, or rather, not to say that, not an imbalance, but this is your goal. Some of you kind of have it, but you're not able to see it, that you have this, okay? So you're out there looking for it when you actually do have it at home, and you're not essentially appreciating that you have this at home, and your perspective is turned upside down, and you're just missing pieces of the puzzle, right? For others of you, you don't have this, but this is your goal. And you can't get to it because you can't see all the pieces. You're out there looking for something, but what you're looking for changes based on your mood. So if you don't have a happy home, a stable home, you don't have structure. For some of you, it might be a relationship. You don't have a relationship, so you want one. Maybe. Let's say that. So what are the missing pieces? Well, I need a partner. Okay, so you go out and you look for a partner. And you're like, okay, well, today I want someone who is tall and they have dark hair and it's long hair, and I want them to be a professional. I want them to be accomplished. I want them to be I want them to be an entrepreneur or a CEO or just whatever. You're like, I want somebody who is an adult, hashtag adulting, they adult so hard. That's what you want. Someone who's just like that. And that's how you are, let's say, Monday. And maybe you're like that Tuesday too. Let Wednesday come along and you wake up and your demeanor is somehow different. Maybe you watched a movie the night before, you chatted with a friend of yours, and now you wake up on Wednesday morning and you're like, I want a partner who's about medium build, maybe a little bit of stubble and like a dad bod, and I want him to be cute and cuddly and kind of chubby, and I want him to kind of be nerdy, and like he doesn't really care that much about his job, like he's just happy to be alive. I want that kind of guy. So that's what you want on Wednesday. Then it comes Thursday morning, and based on whatever happened, maybe you had a terrible dream about dad bod with the stubble and the give a care attitude. Oh no, we're not gonna have a good life together. So then you wake up on Thursday morning and you're like, okay, I want a lady. And you know, not to say like you're being fickle, but just to say like you're kind of at the mercy of your mood, Leo. You're at the mercy of your mood. If you're feeling like you could conquer the world, you want a partner that can conquer the world alongside you. If you're in your sort of family domain and you're dreaming about having kids or who can help you raise your children or whatever, then you want someone who could be stable and share a life with you that's full of love and happiness. And so then the ideas of career and money kind of go out the back window. And then, you see what I mean? So it prevents you from actually getting the stability, from actually finding a partner that can help you build this. Both of those partners and others in so many examples I could throw to you would be able to give you a stable home that would fulfill you in some way, but you just don't know who that partner is. Now, I'm being really specific towards partnership. It doesn't have to be this. This could be even your physical home. Maybe it's the type of house that you have or the type of living situation that you're in. Maybe you're renting. Maybe you're in a 2-bedroom apartment and the rent is too high. An internet meme just came into my head. Rent too damn high. Or whatever that guy said. That's hilarious. Anyway. But yeah, so it could be many things. It doesn't have to be a relationship. But whatever your bliss is, whatever would provide you with fulfillment, with feeling stable and secure, you don't even know how to get to it. It's blocked from you. You don't have all the pieces, or you can't see the full recipe. Your mood changes based on whatever. Somebody says something to you, now you want this, or you saw a billboard and now you want that. You had a dream. You went back and you read your diary from 6th grade and now you want this. Whatever. You're kind of everywhere. And you're, like I said, I think what did I say? You're like subjective to your moods, or like your mood is like sort of the one driving you, whatever it is. And so you're kind of out there and you're searching. Some of you might be actively dating, or you're looking for apartments, or this could be job stability. So you're out there looking for different jobs, but you're like looking in this industry, you're looking in the medical industry, and then you're looking in you're looking in human relations or human resources. And oh, well, today I'm going to look at being an auto mechanic. You haven't picked up a lug wrench in your life, yet you're looking at ads for what an auto mechanic or some type of engineer would do, or what you need to be an engineer. You haven't done any of that stuff before, but you're looking. So things are a little haywire. is the bottom line. A little haywire, a little lost in the sauce, a little lost in the fog. Can't make heads or tails out of anything. And I'm not sure that it would be changing anytime soon. And like I just mentioned to Cancer, and I think I mentioned it to some other signs previous to this, given that July is the beginning of Leo season, your solar return, you do like a check-in. A lot of us do a check-in on ourselves when it's our birthday time, right? Like, who am I? Where am I going? What am I going to do with my life? Where have I been? You know, like a whole, you know, reflective check-in point. A pit stop, maybe, even. And so this might be what's going on, and it might be limited to that perspective of you're doing a check-in on yourself and you realize you don't know what's going on. The chickens are out of the coop. Your farm is a muck. The cows are in the bedroom, and you know, it's just crazy. The horses, they're driving the cars, whatever. Some of you are having like that realization that things are in a bit of a disarray, or they're a bit confusing, or they're not as streamlined and as on track as you want them to be. And you're like, okay, how do I get to this? And again, you have some ideas, but they might change every so often, or your ideal might change. Like I said, with the certain partner that you might be thinking of. You want a business successful person, then you want someone who's like really loving and tender and sensitive, and then you just want someone who's just like off the cuff crazy, and they're going to come in your life and shake it up, and you know, it changes. Yeah. Let's go to the triangle. Excuse me. Now, I don't know if you're watching other videos, but the other times that the triangle has come, and again, I usually get 6 cards out. I don't take more than 2 for any position, but it has been coming consistently, 2 for one particular area. Anyway, in the previous ones I've done them, 2 have been on the bottom, 1 has been at the top. Yours is the first that's been quote-unquote reversed, or in this layout. And you've got the Lovers, Nine of Swords, and the Chariot. So what's going on here? When is this? Is this the past? Is this Leo's past? Yes and no. Okay. Yes and no. And the reason I'm asking that, because it's been sort of like this theme in where it's come out that it's been a situation that has influenced the 4 cards here in previous readings. So I wanted to see if that trend is continuing. In your case, Leo, yes and no. So this is something that you are possibly familiar with. You would recognize what's going on here, or it's something that will play out in your future, or it's something that is pending. I'm getting like something like something that happened, and then there's like a pause, and then there's like a long wait, and then it's going to resume. Interesting. So you've got the Lovers, Knight of Swords, and the Chariot. Where are we starting, please? Knight of Swords. Okay, thank you. All right, so Knight of Swords. Representing air signs, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, potentially, but it doesn't have to be any of those signs for other people that you might be dealing with. Whoever it is, could be you, Leo, could be energy that you have taken on before, or that you might be taking on in the future. But whoever it is, this person is about their business. They are charging in, or they did charge in, and blindly, thank you, immaturely, rowdy. Okay, so this energy, which is sometimes good, but I'm feeling this to be erring more on the side of bad, but not like terrible, not like malicious, not like destructive and no holds barred and just like mean and callous. I'm not getting that. What I'm getting is Someone acted or is acting or will act quickly. Fastest knight in the deck, right? And quickly, not enough information, or acting based off of misinformation or misunderstanding, miscommunication, just immaturely going full throttle before basically not being an adult about it. Like not taking a breath, taking a moment, calming down, or just saying, you know what, I want to do this, but let me not do that for the sake of you, the other person, or other people involved, or the circumstance, whatever. So this person acted in a truthful manner. This person feels or felt that what they were doing or did or will do, you know, pick the tense, but they feel what they did at the time was correct. It was the only option. It was the only way out, okay, for some of them, or you, it depends on who it is. And that was the decision, and they for the most part, stick to it, for the most part. There's another feeling here, Leo, that same person is having a regret. They've reflected and they realized they were wrong. Ego. There was an ego involved. Okay? And the orientation is towards the Lovers. Card of Gemini. So some of you might have a Gemini of significance in this situation. But again, it doesn't have to be. But what the Lovers represents more than just Gemini is that potentially a relationship, but more to the point, the idea of sharing, the idea of openness, the idea of give and take, the idea of reciprocity, give, take in this cyclical way, right? And the choice that one has to make with how much they give, how much they take, and if they choose to participate in that dynamic at all. Okay, so we're talking about people who, this person, you or someone else, or, you know, this could be an external situation to you, because again, it's feeling like it's in the past, but then it's pending for some of you, or for some of you, this is forthcoming. So this could be a relationship that you yourself, Leo, were involved in, or this could be a relationship that is significant to you, that's in your peripheral, meaning a best friend and their partner, or your parents' relationship, whatever. Regardless, someone in a relationship dynamic, for some of you, was not interested in a relationship, decided to sever it, decided to cut it off, whether it was already established or not, and then they're like, I shouldn't have done that. Or a certain aspect of a relationship was cut off, and then they're like, I shouldn't have done that. So what do I mean, a certain aspect? So for some, this could be like maybe a relationship, yours or someone else's, was on the brink of marriage. Instead of marriage, you stay dating or you stay engaged. The wedding date or the time to start planning the wedding just kind of came and went, and nobody's really edged that progression of the relationship any more forward. Like, they're just settled at being engaged or being dating. Maybe they've been dating for like 10, 15 years, and everybody's like, are you guys getting married? And somebody's like, no, we're not. We don't need to. Like, that was their thing. Some of them are like regretting that decision. Others, it was just a complete, we're not doing this anymore, or I don't want to get involved with you. Other aspects. It could have been moving in together. It's definitely more the idea of closeness. So whatever would have brought these particular two people closer, someone was like, no, that's enough. We're not stopping. Like, boop, put the brakes on. No more. Right? So that could be a complete breakup. That could just be, like I said, a stagnation where we're just going to date for the rest of our lives. Or we're not going to move in together. We're just going to maintain these two crappy apartments, and we're going to pay rent until we die and someone else is like, but if we live together, we would save money. The other person's like, no, we need our autonomy. We need our privacy. No, 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 no. So there's this idea of the progression of moving towards more give and take was halted. Okay? And that was someone's choice to make, and they made that choice. And it was based off of this, the Chariot. It was based off of this idea of traveling. Literally, some of them had issues with traveling. They had this idea that if we go further, I won't have the ability to travel, or my travel pattern would change. So let's say for some of you, if it was an issue of someone wanting to move in with someone else, for partner A, that would have been great. Everything would have been fine. But for partner B, it would have meant, oh, well, I'm going to have to add another 45 minutes to my commute, or I will be moved to a different county and I won't be able to keep my job, or whatever it is. And it just was not feasible for them. For some of them, it was an idea of it's just not feasible. It's just not practical for the things I have going on in my personal life. Others, it was like, no, I literally, if we, if we go further, if we get married, I have to pay X amount of dollars for the wedding, and I have goals to be like traveling to India in like 2 years. And if we get married right now, I can't go to India in 2 years. It was literally like that sort of a, for lack of a better word, selfish idea of if I spend money on us, I can't spend money on myself. Or I can't go somewhere for myself, which is what I wanted to do. And behind that, beyond just physical travel, beyond the conveniences or inconveniences of what a commute is, there's just this idea of movement, freedom, choice. Okay, so the irony is the Lovers talks about choice, and the Chariot also talks about choice too, but it's kind of this weird, like, not even wordplay, but it's like this weird way of looking at it. Someone made a choice, and they chose not to choose, or they chose not to take a certain choice, so that another set of choices would remain, okay? So I don't choose that. I choose the road that gives me more choices, or from their perspective. I don't like that choice. This choice over here gives me more choices, or better choices, or more choices that are more aligned to what I want. And again, the irony is, like, I think they felt going more towards the reciprocal, deeper commitment, being more open, being more sharing. I think a lot of them felt that was more of a constriction, that was less choice. If I choose that road, that's less choice for me. So now they chose the road, in their eyes, of more choices. But again, there's this feeling in this card of regret. And with these two combined, look at the mirroring that's going on here. Okay. Got one figure overseeing the two figures below or in front of, right? So, the thing that this Knight of Swords was charging towards, to say, no, I don't want that, or that's enough of that, we're not going any further, and then the Knight of Swords ends up with the Chariot. It's the same structure. It's the same structure of having to go this way or that, of going more, a certain progression, or being tied to certain results or consequences of the action. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Because with the Lovers, right? Again, it's that choice of, are we an item, are we not? Am I going to be committed to you? Am I going to say we're official, yes or no? Do I want to stay married to you, yes or no? Do I want to even be married to you and move away from engagement to marriage, yes or no? All of that was like, annex, like, no, don't want anything to do with that. Or ignored it. If not completely rejected, just ignored it and has left that pending. And then the result was the Chariot. The Chariot is also about choice. And the Chariot is also about marrying the energies of one Sphinx to the energies of another Sphinx and making them work in tandem to progress forward. So in either situation, there's this idea of negotiation. And what I'm getting is the Knight of Swords is not bound. It's hard to bind him, right? He's not interested in that. He's interested in go, go, go. He's interested in his own journey, his own experience in the world, his own thoughts, his own perspective. He's a single-minded person, right? And the irony, I suppose, for that person, and it could be you, Leo. I'm saying this person, so it could be you. It's a general reading. Is that while they were concerned with, or are concerned with, or will be concerned with freedom and not having being bound, both cards, no matter where the Knight of Swords ends up aligned, it talks about that. It talks about having to negotiate. The Knight of Swords is not about negotiation. The Knight of Swords is my way or the highway. If you don't like it, get out of my way, and if you don't move, I'm going to charge right through you. He can be that kind of dismissive and arrogant and just sort of flippant, right? But no matter where he is, negotiations are necessary. You have to compromise. You have to sort of delegate. You have to weigh the options. You have to be present, okay? The Knight of Swords is on the go. He's not somebody who sticks around, okay? So, interesting. That's very deep. And like I said, that could have happened. You are well aware of what I'm talking about. You know what area of your life that applies to. You know who I'm talking about, all that. Or it's pending. You don't know. This is kind of reflecting something that might be going on in your life or the life of someone else who's significant to you. Doesn't matter. But the idea is that this feels like it will happen again, or you will deal with this person again, or this complex mix of energy will repeat itself, if not with the same people, different people. Right? Yes, thank you. So, great? Good? I don't think so. That's not great or good. But my argument is always it's better to know than not know, which is ironic because the moon is right there. And again, this over here was all about not knowing, and then over here, I think if it's pending or something you haven't, there's a lot of mystery over here too, because the Knight of Swords, like I said, he's someone or he's an energy that doesn't stay in one place for long. And when that happens, how well do you know a person, or how well can you really understand the circumstances or the ins and outs of a situation if it changes, or if it goes away, or if it appears and then disappears? Like, did it ever really happen? If this is a person and they have that energy of coming and going and sort of like a rolling stone, did you ever really know them? Did you ever really get to who they were as a person? Were they ever really real? Is how some of you might feel if this is someone external to you. Or if this is you, this is how someone else might see you, Leo. Is, who the hell is Leo? They come in and out of my life, they say they care, and then they do this, they say they don't care, but then they send me flowers on my birthday, and it's a whole enigma over here. Especially when we're talking about so many choices, especially when we're talking about a this or that choice, and we're having to marry energies, we're having to blend energies to make them work for the future, or we're having to choose between this or that, and when you kind of put people in those situations, it gets kind of muddy. It gets kind of weird. Oi. Outcome for July. 7 of Swords. So more confusion or more misunderstandings, more chances for things to not go the way that you would want them to, expect them to, hope them to, wish for them to, Leo. It's like a little bit of deception, some lying, some thievery, some sneaky snake business. It's just not cool. Whatever the outcome is just like, damn. I feel that this is like, this might be what you think you know. Coming out of this reading, coming out of whatever situation that this might pertain to, you think you know that someone or the situation itself or you yourself are this. Sneaky, snake, liar, deceiver, manipulator, just not above board, not about anything good, just shysty, shady, all that stuff, right? And to a degree, it would be true. But what I'm feeling is like that again is a perspective. It's a perception. It's not the full story. And I've read this card before and I've been like, liar, deceiver, manipulator. No, no, no. This time around, the energy that I'm getting is, maybe not. Like, yeah, if this is a person, you or someone else, yeah, there are bad sides to this person, or there are not so great traits assigned to this person that this person works with, that this person has demonstrated in the past. But that's sort of like the key word, or the key the key element is the past, or what has happened. This is a perception based off of, like I said before, information that is known. Again, you got those 4 ingredients. It's gotta be a cake. And that's why you're like, okay, so you're making a crappy cake, and I don't want a crappy cake. Like I said, I want crepe Suzette, or I want a full rack of ribs, and I want mashed potatoes and corn on the cob. So you're like, you're not bringing me that. I don't want your crap cake, or I don't want a crappy bland cake. I want something else. And again, that's what you believe. You believe that's what this person is all about. You just want to make crappy cakes, and I don't want that. Or if this is a perception about yourself, you believe only you believe that's all you have in your arsenal, and that's the only ingredients in your kitchen. You don't realize you have like a huge cabinet full of ingredients that you can make different recipes with. So, like I said before I do, there are times when this energy comes across as what it traditionally is understood to be. This time I'm like, it's like a half-truth. It's like partially true. Because if you have those 4 ingredients and you believe that's all you have in your kitchen, and you ignore what's in the cabinets, you ignore what's in the pantry, you ignore what's in the refrigerator, you're going to believe that's all you have. But when you open up the cabinet, the refrigerator, the pantry, you'll realize you have a whole bunch of stuff. So again, that's the half-truth. Yes, you do have those 4 base ingredients. You can make that bland cake if you want to. You can make that cake day in, day out if you want, Leo, or whoever this is representing. You can do that. But once you open up the other cabinets and the different areas of the kitchen, you'll realize, oh, I can do more than that. So that's the half-truth. Yes, you have the 4 ingredients, the base 4, but you've got a plethora of other ingredients at your disposal. There's more to this person than just being a liar, a manipulator, a deceiver, a thief. Yes, they are those things, or they have the tendency to be those things, or the potentiality to be those things, but that's not all they are. It's not who they are definitively. Okay? Overall energy for July, you've got the 5 of Wands. So you're in some debates, you're in some squabbles, you're in some disagreements about this entire situation. I think this might be, for many of you, internal. You're struggling to find the truth, to see which part of yourself has uncovered the truth, or has the most encompassing perspective. Because, Leo, a lot of you will sit there and you'll be like, okay, a lot of you will sit there and be like, okay, this person isn't just all bad. So you quiet down that part of your ego that says, they're terrible, don't ever talk to them again. Or if it's about yourself, we're terrible, we need to shut ourselves in and become Boo Radley, we're the worst person in the world. That's extreme, that's very limited, it's not progressive, it's not helpful, it's not constructive. So you quiet that part of yourself down, or you quiet that other person who makes that argument. Don't talk to them, girl or boy, don't talk to that person ever again. They did that to you, they said that to you, no, and shut them down. And you're like, that's a little extreme, because you realize there's more to it than that. So then you're like, and then on the opposite side, it's like, love all, forgive all, we all have our sins, we all have our downsides, it's okay, blah, 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 we can forget. And so then you quiet that side of yourself down, because that opens yourself up to being vulnerable in a way that you don't want to be vulnerable, Leo. So this 5 of Wands is like trying to find that median, that middle ground where you're not totally shut down from the world or shut down to this person, or you don't shut this side of yourself down or yourself down from other people, and you're not completely open and just willing to take on all comers and, you know, like I said, being a vulnerable, like, lamb to the slaughter, basically. You want to find that middle ground, and it's hard. It's short-lived. Fives are usually short-lived. They're like little tiffs, little spats, little flare-ups of disagreement. So I think just having this might be good debate. Like, this might be 5 people that you're asking advice to. Like, hey, you know so-and-so from work, or you know so-and-so my ex, or you know so-and-so, like our dad's second cousin, who I'm incredibly close with for some reason, and he's having problems in his marriage. And you might just be seeking the opinions of other people, or the insight and perspective and feedback of other people, which can be hard to hear. You know, Leo, Leo can talk a lot of truth. Can Leo take the truth? That's debatable, right? So these opinions and this feedback from other people might be things you don't want to hear, and that can always be difficult, right? You don't have to be a Leo to have that experience. But regardless, this is a huge, to keep with the analogy, it's a huge slice of cake. You might need to digest this with like a hefty glass of milk or something, okay? All right, Leo, that is your reading for July. I hope that it resonated with you in some kind of way. If it did, hit the thumbs up. That would be great. It shows me that you kind of liked what you saw, and maybe it hit some buttons for you. If it didn't, that's also okay. It is a general reading. Also, feel free to leave comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. That would be amazing. And, of course, feel free to share it. If you know another Leo and you're like, this is our life, fellow Leo, I need to show you. Do that. Also, below, there's going to be some information on how to do personal readings with me. There's a step-by-step process down there, so if you're interested in that, follow those steps. I would love to work with you. And then I will be back in about 2 weeks, and I will do the general messages for August for you guys, okay? Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.